White to move. Test 12. Level 1400 to 1600. Pause it here. Alright. So we can see how this position came about. Preventing the threefold repetition. This game is Sake versus Malakov, the 60th Russian Championship 2007. And we reach the position from the diagram. Black is spatially challenged on the queen side, but the most noticeable drawback to his game is the light squared bishop, which on b7 is a true tall pawn. White's bishop on d2 can leap into activity via bishop f4, but White's other bishop seems to be hitting granite on d5. Thus, White's first order of business is to crack open the center and activate the slacker on g2. Remember, more often than not, you have to make a bishop active. You can't count on it to happen by itself. Explaining the rating spread. I know that bishop f4 was tempting, but my main concern is that you notice that your g2 bishop isn't as active as it could be. If that simple thought crossed your mind, then I'm happy. And if you also decided to do something about the g2 bishop's plight and decided on e2, e4, then prepare to be worshipped as a chess god. So I've been thinking about these puzzles, and I don't know. It might be more useful or easier to get through the book and the lectures if you don't treat these as puzzles. It's really up to you. I'm not spending time trying to solve these. I'm just going through the answers because I think it's more interesting just to go through the answers. But these are certainly good exercises to practice. But really, it's kind of whatever you want to do. Worse is d4. And after knight e2, the d4 pawn will fall. Yeah, this won't hold it. Because the rook. Okay, so knight takes e4. Now we can see that e2, e4 had another point to it. It opened the d file for White's d1 rook and made the hole on d6 accessible to White's pieces. After bishop takes e4, White's advantage can't be in doubt. Aside from the disparity in the state of both sides' light-squared bishops, the weakness of the c6 pawn, which will be vulnerable for the rest of the game, means that White has a target and Black doesn't. Black's position has noticeably deteriorated. How did this happen? It's clear that White didn't do anything brilliant. In fact, all he did was activate his bishop, take aim at a weak pawn, and make use of a hole on an open file. These are things anyone can do, yet White's play is bringing a strong grandmaster like Malakov, who's playing Black, to his knees. More simple chess. White claims the d-file. Perhaps rook e8 was a tad better. Although after rook to d1, if queen h3, then queen to d6 leaves black with nothing better than queen c8. Because it looks like white's gonna play queen c7. However, notice that after queen h3, queen to d7, question mark, double question mark, would be unfortunate due to rook e1 check. And the queen is lost. So here we're looking at queen c8. King g2. Black would be doomed to a long, passive, miserable defensive chore in this line. So in the game, queen f5 was played. Greed is good. White grabs both center files. Oh, I'm sorry. Instead, yeah, queen f5 was played here. Rook e1. Greed is good. White grabs both center files. Now every white piece is doing a better job than its black counterpart. Total domination. The rest of the game illustrates just how horrible black's light squared bishop really is.
Check.
This is like a really excellent example about good bishop versus bad bishop. And I think here's another example where Silman, in the newer version of Reassess Your Chess, this is the 4th edition, and I went through the 3rd edition. He's finding the 4th edition is completely new examples, and he's definitely getting better at teaching because he's finding better positions that isolate the imbalances. So in this example, it's good bishop versus bad bishop to see how important they are. And you know, obviously, piece activity and pawn structure are playing a part here, but we can see that the main thing is the bishops. If the bishops and queens were off the board, this would probably be a draw, because black could hold the pawn, more or less. I mean, that's a different question, but it would be a lot harder to win for white.
Check.
Brutal. Let's see, if here, I think this is pretty strong and wins the pawn.
Check.
Whoops, bishop c2.
Check.
Geez, that bishop is still... Talk about a sad painting. Still doing nothing.
Check. Check.
Okay, so black plays king e5. If rook takes, then
Check.
black loses the rook. Well, no. Black's light square bishop remained pathetic right up to his resignation. Okay, so here probably just the same thing. And it's seems difficult to stop the pawn. So this was a good example. Go back to the start position. So you can look at it as a whole. So here it is really hard to find the right plan, but e4 is the best move because it activates the light squared bishop, and this bishop remains passive. So this is a good example.